Hello, this is C.H.E.K and welcome to part 5 of my little mini-series, How to Survive in a Modern World. Today we're going to talk about, do I work in or work out? Many things to discuss in that regard. Very important concept to understand if optimal performance and optimal health and well-being are your interest, which is mine. In my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, the work-in exercises are called zone exercises. They're in chapter 6 called energizing exercises. So there's a lot of neat work-in options for you there. And I give you exercises to address imbalances at each of the different zone or chakra levels as it relates to the 1st through the 6th, which are the ones that we have exercises for. So with that in mind, today I'd like to review what it means to work in. So here you see my little Tai Chi symbol. The concept work in means to perform movement and breathing exercises at a low enough intensity that the amount of energy you cultivate while doing the exercise is greater than the amount of energy it took to do the exercise. A workout is any activity that costs you more energy and resources to do the exercise than the exercise delivers to you. Thus, working out means to expend your energy and resources outward, while working in means to cultivate energy and resources inward. So working in a Taoist philosophy or approach would be yin. Working out, expending your energy and resources outward, that would be classified as yang. My criteria for a work-in exercise are very simple, but unfortunately the more wound up people are, the harder they are to follow. And the harder they are to follow, the more you need to do it. So here's the criteria for working in. Number 1, when you're doing a work-in activity, such as the zone exercises in my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, your heart rate should not go up. So you take your heart rate at the beginning, begin doing the exercise. So if I'm doing a breathing squat, I have to be very careful, because if I get too frisky, my heart rate will jump up. That's an indication you're going into the sympathetic mode. Next, your respiratory rate should not speed up. If it slows down, that's good, but you should not take more breaths per minute while doing a work-in than you did when you were in a rest state right before you started the exercise. Next, your tongue should stay moist. So as you're doing these exercises, you'll notice, for example, if you start doing breathing squats and you purposely push it to a workout activity or speed up or stress yourself a little more, eventually within a minute or so, typically your tongue starts to dry out. That's an indication that your body's shifting your blood and resources out of the visceral system into the peripheral system. The tongue's part of the digestive system, so when the yin energy is high, the tongue stays moist. As you start bleeding it off, you notice the tongue getting drier. So keep that tongue moist. And finally, digestion. I often encourage people to begin their work-in training or work-in practices on a full stomach, such as right after breakfast, lunch, or dinner, because if you're doing a work-in activity correctly, it will aid and enhance digestion. Working out on a full stomach usually makes you feel quite lousy. Most people don't get up from the dinner table and go out in the backyard and do repeat 40s, or there would be vomit everywhere. So working in aids digestion and elimination. So there's a key tip right there. Most of the people all over the world and in gyms have problems with digestion and elimination, which can usually be quite easily rectified by adequate nutrition, hydration, sleep, breathing, thinking, and movement, and working in, which is movement. It's also breathing, and it also calms your thinking. So there's many, many good things going on there. So when it comes to choosing whether or not you should work in or not, here's a few criteria that I think are very important to understand. One, the 1 to 3% rule. I learned that from studying the work of Charlie Francis, who was Ben Johnson's coach when he was a famous sprinter. Charlie Francis suggested that you should not go into the gym and lift weights if you cannot improve on your prior workout by 1 to 3%. And I find that to be very true. So most people are going in the gym out of habit or out of insecurity or out of reading too many magazines, etc. But the reality of it is, if you're going into the gym to train and you cannot meet or exceed your previous workout by 1 to 3%, you're not really working out. You're actually just further breaking your body down. Major misunderstanding worldwide. The body does not get stronger while you're training. You're breaking it down. It gets stronger while you're resting. Exercise is the stimulus, the catabolic stimulus, that triggers the anabolic rebound, and working in enhances your anabolic rebound so you recover faster and get stronger quicker. So that's important. So can you improve by 1 to 3%? Are you recovering from stress, illness, or are you still sore from a previous workout? If you're recovering from stress or illness, that's going to affect you on the 1 to 3% rule. If you don't feel up to it and sharp and tight and ready, then work in. Do you need mental, emotional calming or centering? Even if you have the 1 to 3%, but you're all wound up and stressed out, that's not a good time to work out because you're probably going to hurt yourself. When athletes or individuals start lifting weights and doing heavy physical exercises and they're mentally and emotionally stressed, they often make mistakes and get hurt. As I often say when I teach rock lifting, never rush in a rock garden. Well, metal, weight plates are made of stones. So at gyms or rock garden, never rush. If you don't feel ready for a good solid workout, work in. You can always come back to the gym the next day and do a good job of it. Do you want improved healing energy or a mental focus or clarity? I use work-in exercises regularly all over the world because I'm traveling all over the place, dealing with jet lag. I have to stand up and lecture in front of hundreds and thousands of people all over the place. So if I need a little juice, I got to get out there and work in, sometimes early in the morning when the birds aren't even up. But it works. Haven't missed a day of work in 30 years, baby. All right, so next, do you want to enhance your sexual performance? Yes, that's always a good thing. At least I know the girls like it when a man has his fire intact. So if you want to enhance your sexual performance, especially you guys, nothing like 20 minutes of good working in or nice breathing exercises, Tai Chi. Follow these criteria. If you're really serious about making some good love, jump in a cold shower immediately after for 6 to 10 minutes. No hot, cold as you can get, and stand back while Superman unveils himself or herself. Okay? To improve your inner reserves, basically what I found from teaching these exercises for many, many years is there's 3 functional windows. If you don't do at least 10 minutes, you're just flirting. You're not really getting much out of it. Although even 1 minute would be better than none, a 10-minute practice will get you noticeable results. Your next jump's going to come with a 20-minute practice and then a 40-minute practice. To get more juice in you than the 40-minute practice, you'd have to probably spend a good hour to an hour and a half. Very few people will do that. So there's your windows of committed practice. 10, 20, 40. 40 will get you there quick. 10's a reasonable investment. Okay, so now let's talk a little about working out. Working out is yang. Again, don't do it unless you're ready to improve 1 to 3%. Next, remember, working out is significantly increasing the stress on your body and all your biological systems, your hormonal system, your musculoskeletal system, everything. When you work out, the whole system gets stressed. So if you don't have enough anabolic energy in you, working out will progressively break you down to the point that you start having all sorts of niggling injuries, sleep quality starts to diminish, sexual performance diminishes, mental clarity, things just start falling apart and you don't feel so great. Okay, so know that the more intense your training program is, the more committed you need to be to those 6 foundation principles that are the basis of CHEK Holistic Lifestyle Coach Training, which are the 3 yin principles: nutrition, hydration, sleep; the 3 masculine principles: breathing, thinking, and movement. Those things always have to be carefully regulated. Most athletes that have problems with working out have problems because they're not good enough warriors. Remember, any serious warrior always knows the importance of rest and will rest because they respect the enemy. Anyone that's serious about their conditioning program will value rest equally with exercise. Amateurs are the ones that make all these silly mistakes. Okay. Now, if you are ignorant about it, then it's not silly. So today you get to lose your ignorance, and let's get into our working out and do a good job of it. Okay? Next, mental emotional stress or wind up. Remember, as a general rule, the more wound out and stressed out somebody is coming into a gym, the more energy it's going to take to wind them down. If you use a torque wrench and put a bolt on a cylinder head at 110 foot-pounds of torque, it's going to take at least 111 to unwind that bolt. So if you use a 10 scale and you come to the gym and you're a 9 out of 10 because you had a real stressful day, chances are good you're going to really push hard in the gym to unwind yourself. That's okay. Just be aware that sometimes your mental emotional energy can actually overextend your actual capacity. So sometimes it's best to take a minute, calm yourself down, do a few minutes of working in, and then you can unwind yourself in a more gentle way than torturing yourself on heavy bags and weight plates and kettlebells unnecessarily, which often leads to unwanted injury and adrenal stress. Finally, working out improves your capacity to detoxify your body. Eric Serrano, MD, and I talked about this years ago, and he was kind enough to forward some studies showing that bodybuilders actually have been shown to clear caffeine from their bloodstream faster than people that don't exercise, supporting my theory that I discussed with Eric that working out aids the process of detoxification through the fires of metabolism. So working out is good on a regular basis if well managed because it aids detoxifying your body. So that's it for today. Part 5 in Surviving in a Modern World. Do I work out or work in? I'll look forward to sharing Part 6 with you real soon. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Paul C.H.E.K.